Yeah, I tell you what. Listen, I ain't got time to do all the extra stuff. We're gonna go straight into the show. You are watching Black Super Friends podcast, the best podcast in the world. Top five for sure. I am the host of the show for the night. You will call me the Horace Towns. Make sure you get the suit and tie tonight. Hey, I'm joined by an illustrious cast that has traveled the world with me for different occasions. First, I'm gonna go to the man that changes lives. I really want him to get his just due and notoriety for the information and disclosing false information. He gives out facts. He gives out great dissertations on dating. And tonight, you will be honored to have him on this segment. His name is the Date Doctor.
Thank you, Horace. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me back. I've been gone for a while, but I'm back. I just like to say, man, if you sick of them hoes, call me. I can see it.
We got to get a toll free number out there. All
Yes.
right, next, I'm going to go to my brother who I don't give a lot of credibility to. I don't give him the best words because we really beef on this episode a lot. But that's just a story of my life.
Jackass.
He's a damn heartthrob, self-proclaimed heartthrob. He's my brother. He is tonight wearing no shirt, but ladies love him all around the world. You would know him as Zay, the international ladies' man that I'm going to trademark because I did create it.
Allegedly. But
Video proof.
how you doing, my brother? Yeah. Hey, listen. That's inadmissible. You did not have my permission. I had an NDA signed. Don't disclose that. But no, man, I'm glad to be here, man. I don't expect any less from my brother. I know this all love. Y'all don't know that, but I do. I do want to say this though. Shout out to my young cousin, man. Jeremy just had a little boy. Jaziel Johnson has touched the earth. He's here. I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying? That's the second step in manhood for you. You know, one, you already got married. Now you brought a beautiful young boy into the family and into the world, you know, imparting to that young king, man. And listen, man, enjoy the ride. It goes quick. Mine 13, as you know. So just wanted to share that a little bit with you guys. I think we're all family on here, man. So, you know, I was excited. So I shared it with you guys. Hopefully I transferred that energy.
Congratulations
Go
to
ahead,
Jerry
host.
new edition. Just for future references, that is in the closing comments, but Xavier follows no protocols on this show. I will say,
I am a random ass nigga. You know, I kind of just roll with the punches and I fly in the wind because that's how it goes.
absolutely. We're going to bring in our guest in a minute to join our chaotic conversation tonight. Please do not suck that water bottle too hard. They causes sound and feedback issues. Next, I'm going to my brother, man. This is the brother I
It's
talk too much.
advertisement.
I get some inspiration and motivation. He was on the couch with us, and he is one of the Dallas Cowboys' longest supporting fans. Hopefully, he can talk to Jerry Jones in the future for next year. Congratulations to Dak Prescott on the Walter Payton Award. Didn't know he did any charity, but he damn sure gave the ball away a lot this year. Super Mario Sr.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? And welcome back after a magnificent Super Bowl Sunday, man. Whoa, I woke up so elated and light-footed this morning. Just a joy came over my body after watching last night's amazing rise of the new and reigning NFL's number one quarterback. Now that the changing of the guard has commenced. And oh, I have some facts to share with y'all today.
Well, you know what? You keep that false information and disrespect. Hold on to it for 1 second. We're going to introduce some estrogen on the show tonight. We have a female guest. She's not any better because she's a New Orleans Saints fan, so she's not going to have much to say either. So let me add Dr. Cook to the screen.
Here. Hello, everyone. And I rebuke those statements made. Yes, I do have a lot to say. I am a Saints fan. We don't have a dog in the fight, but still, I do have something to say. So, no, Mr. Towns, we're not doing that today. Thank you.
Okay. Well, hold on to your horses or the dogs or the Saints. Listen, last night Super Bowl might not be agreeable, but it last night, in my opinion, was trash. I'm gonna be like Bubba Gump or whatever his name is. Trash. It was trash. Sorry, I love Rihanna as a person, but she was irresponsible and selfish. If you knew that you had a baby in the oven, you should have incorporated more people into the show, or postpone and say, I'm gonna let Bootsy or somebody, Kanye or somebody from the Rock Nation to come in and do the halftime show. Instead, she got on there with swollen ankles, out of breath, and gave us all the songs that we already know. I love her as a person, not a big fan of her music. Second of all, I hate that the NBA, NFL is such a trash institution. It's a nonprofit, which I don't understand why. But last night, I just know that they have been trying to follow this script to make Mahomes the new GOAT. The boy, he won too, barely, but don't disrespect Tom Brady. He's not even in the football grave. And I just looked at the last 3 games where I say they are determined to make my homeboy the winner of this game. And then they talking about Kelsey is going to be a GOAT. Come on, man. Let's just appreciate these young boys and evaluate them in 10 years and say whether they're going to be great players. Shout out to Jalen Hurts. I wanted to see that story because he comes from a dad. I want that black father story coming from a dad that was a coach. I really liked his play. Salute to both teams. Shout out to Terry Braden, our homeboy, who won his 2nd Super Bowl. He's from Riviera Beach, from Inlet Grove. So shout out and congratulations to everybody that played in the big game. I personally thought it was suspect. And even though Brady's retired, I'm not watching another NFL game in life. In life. Big Doctor, you the sports man.
I think it was a very exciting game. I think it's sad that it came down to what it came down to. I agree that he was holding, but sometimes we let plays go like that. Like every play, there could be a holding call. So that was unfortunate. But I think that the Jalen Hurts fumble is what really had something to do with the deciding factor of that game. And that's very unfortunate. That was in the first half. They was driving. It looked like they had the momentum to continue to press the gas on trying to score. And when he fumbled that ball, man, I think that really changed the game. But other than that, for some reason, man, like I wanted more defense. I don't know why, but I wanted a little more defense. It seemed like every down, man, they was driving down, scoring. Every play almost. I didn't see enough defense. I would have really liked to see a little more defense. But other than that, shout out to the Chiefs. I still think Joe Montana is the greatest quarterback ever. But shout out to Patrick Mahomes, and more importantly, shout out to those 2 black fathers.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm triggered because you said not the quarterback. I'm gonna go to Zay. Zay, you haven't seen the Super Bowl in a long time. What were your thoughts?
Well, I mean, you were on the couch with me, but it was a very exciting game. I mean, I liked it. I don't know, Chris, how much defense you can give. That's 2 high-power offenses. It was just up. I do agree that fumble was costly, even though he came back out. He manned up and he went back and scored. That and the field goals. One thing for certain we kept saying last night is you got to give Patrick Mahomes boy touchdowns. Field goals, he going to come back and beat you. The halftime, I understand. It wasn't no Janet Jackson. Let's say that. And I would have loved to have seen the pastor who said that he seen her in hell when he had a near-death experience. She should have did a guest appearance with him. But oh well, I guess it was what it was, and she came out and she showed the world, and that was dope. In the middle of Black History, I did some things, and other than that, the game was dope. I just enjoyed it with family, and that was that. But good game. What about you, Hart? I know you like the splendors of what you saw. The Eagles took a L. You're a Cowboy fan, fanatic.
Who, me?
I was super. No. Harden.
Yeah, I'm American, so anybody who American should be a Cowboy fan. It's your only right, because I don't understand how you not. That's like treason at the first degree. And if I was the president or the next president I vote for, I would definitely vote that on your driver's license should be: are you an organ donor or a Cowboy fan? If you're not either one of those, then you don't have the right to ever speak to me about charity work in this country. Now let's begin about this game and these unfactual comments that people have been throwing around. That's been also misguided from falsehoods. First of all, the Eagles had the number one defense in the league. So Jalen Hurts fumbling should not have allowed Patrick Mahomes with a hurt ankle to put up 38 points on the number one defense in the league. The defense let the Eagles down. You know damn what Jalen Hurts did. The defense fell asleep. In the second half, Big Red Andy Reid came out and coached the game of his life. They went down the field 5 times, scored 4 times, and a field goal. They ran amok. Whatever adjustments he made in the second half, he said everything he needed to say and did everything he needed to do, because the second half was a whole different game than the first half. Let's get into these stats. Tom Brady is obviously for sure statistically, and he's like unbeatable. So if you think LeBron is the GOAT because of stats, then you have to agree with Tom Brady, because Tom Brady is achieved stuff that we won't see in our lifetime ever be achieved again. What that Joe Montana fella? See, this is the myth of Joe Montana, that it's the Michael Jordan effect of him and Tom Brady. He never lost, right? And that's true. He never lost. But in his age right now, if Patrick Mahomes win one more Super Bowl, he's gonna be the second best quarterback ever, statistically wise. He has more yards. He would be happy at that point right now. He just won't. He have been a lost more Super Bowls, but he's on the projection to be in more Super Bowls than Joe Montana, and he has more MVPs. So right now, he's knocking at the door of number 2. He's 2 for 2 on MVPs right now. Tom Brady only has 1 MVP. So let's not get into understanding of why they're saying he's the new GOAT. The new GOAT, not the GOAT, the new GOAT. And last but not least, the Travis Kelce travesty that Horace just smiting. Bro, do you understand that Travis Kelce is number 2 in touchdowns in Super Bowl in the postseason of all time? He's 22 touchdowns. Jerry Rice is 1 with 29. If you talking about he's not going to be a Hall of Famer, he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. This man career stat 17 postseason games. He has over 2,000 yards. He's not going to be a Hall of Famer? Shit. And that's all he had, too. Because the other people on the Kansas City Chiefs, you don't even know. And this man just beat Jalen, Hurts. And the Eagles died. And I always want to say the last thing before I let Dr. Cook go. On this show, we had a poll. Who likes the Eagles to win the Super Bowl? I'm going to tell you who didn't. And I'm going to tell you who's victorious again today. Because the Eagles and Gilly the Kid and all of those shit-talking Eagles, I don't have to hear nothing else from y'all for the rest of the year. You on the couch with all of them suckers. But Jalen did amazing, too.
Well, Miss TC, I'm going to say this before you go. One, the NFL is so soft. It's different errors. Right now, you can't touch the quarterback. You can't touch this person. It's just really despicable to me. Second of all, yeah, that's just like Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice was so prominent because he was pretty much the number 1 option, right? Kelce is always getting the ball in that offense. When Tom Brady had Gronk and all the people, he had multiple weapons. But if Gronk was the only option, like Kelce is, you might see different stats. I just appreciate them both. TC, you're a New Orleans Saints. I don't think y'all had anything good since Katrina.
Oh, really? That's how we doing it?
Hey, man,
you hitting below the belt tonight. You are on one. Yes, I am a Saints fan. Who that? I'm always going to represent good years, bad years, and everything in between. Overall, I thought it was a good game because most of the time the Super Bowls is either a blowout or it's boring. And this game was not boring. Like, it was interesting the whole time. I will say whatever they put in his ankle at halftime, That's what people on the street need to be probably smoking if they want to get an ultimate high, because he came back with a brand new ankle and a whole nother life. I will say that the Eagles should look at their coaching staff, because they didn't make any adjustments after halftime at all. Like, they just came out with the same game plan and it didn't work. And after they got hyped up in the locker room, I don't know what he said to him, but he said something. Maybe he said he was gonna fine it if you don't get these plays. I don't know what he did. Pull some Ike Turner out, but hey, it got the victory. They came out fighting. They scored those 2 or 3 touchdowns so quick. I was like, dang, they tied the game. Yeah, so it was a good game. It was a good Super Bowl. Halftime.
Tell the truth.
So for me at halftime, I'm a Rihanna fan. I'm not a diehard Rihanna fan, but I'm a Rihanna fan. I kept thinking, why she keep rubbing her stomach? And then it finally hit me. That explained why she didn't do the normal movements. But you gotta realize Rihanna is not a performer like a Beyonce. She's not going to do all of that anyway if she wasn't pregnant. What I was most disappointed about was all the lip syncing. She didn't sing until she got to that Diamond song. She lip synced the whole night. And I'm like, I don't care if you're pregnant or not. You better hit one note somewhere in between. And that's what was disappointing to me. So that was my take on the Super Bowl.
Janet gave us a little piece of something, but yes, Chris.
Well, first off, I want to say those are nice earrings. I love them. But I actually got a bone to pick with Rihanna for 100%. Like, I thought that was the most disrespectful display to young women. That is like, what kind of role model is that? This woman comes out of there, first off, with a dad bod. We're not going to say anything about that. But then she come out, she has a national performance, and this woman come out there fully clothed. Like, come on, what type of example are you setting for young kids, young ladies? Where's the twerking? Where's the music that's disrespecting men? Where's all the I'm single and I don't need no man music? This was insane. Even the background dancers, they had on clothes. What type of example is Rihanna setting? This woman don't wait till she get married to have her kids and not talking down about her father. She's not married. My bad. Well, either way, that's a part of it. But yeah, man, I just thought that set a really, really bad example. Like, I don't know why she didn't. Was Cardi B not available? Was Meg Thee Stallion? Was Glorilla not available? We needed some on that big stage, women half naked, talking down about men and about their sexual parts. Man, somebody didn't give Rihanna the memo, but kudos.
Well, the only spice I can think she would have added to that is just ask Chris Brown to come out. That would have been all the spice you needed.
Yeah.
You really need to talk about that story. You need to hear Chris Brown's side of that story.
Well, listen.
Oh, yeah, it's always 3 sides. Her side, his side, and the truth. So it is.
Because he's the victim. But listen, I want to give a Black History salute to ASAP, the first Black man to get a billionaire pregnant twice. Way to secure the bag. Hey, I'm hating, but you did that, sir. And her being pregnant, it was full of subliminals. The whole show was full of the little people dressed like sperm running around the field. So if you didn't know she was pregnant, it was all in the artist work, the little white-bodied people. So yeah, that really actually happened. Let me ask you something. You got OnlyFans, you got escorts. I can't tell you the websites, but you have adult entertainment out there. I'm gonna go to the lady first. I'm stripping. I dance down at the Eagle Beagle. My name is Coffee Cake. Could you date me, TC?
No.
Stripper?
No.
If I was an adult entertainer, stripper, I had an OnlyFans page. I did porn. What if I used to do porn? You can't date somebody that had an entertainment life?
That's your entertainment, not mine.
Okay. Chris, no. Super Mario Sr., you married, but single Mario. Could you date somebody who had an adult entertainment background or current career?
Yes. Of course.
Okay. International ladies man.
My brother. It depends which kind of date we talking about. is this the date like, you know, dick at the end? Because yes, I could, you know, but if it's like you know, like dating, like we trying to be serious, I don't know. I think I'm very shallow. I don't think I would be able to do it.
You at
Just-
iPick with her. You can't go to iPick and dinner with her.
I can't. I don't think I could take the pressure of the comes with it. You know, my mind might wonder. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, what else? Who else loving you? I think that was Michael verse. Who else loving you? I don't know, but yeah.
She a former
I ain't
stripper.
be able
She's
to do
still
it.
bad. She a former stripper. She bad. She
Mhm.
bought a house. She got a little car. She sucked meat, but it was business. She better now.
I don't
Is she
know.
born again? Because that
I don't-
Born again,
I
but
don't
she's
know.
not born again.
It might work. It might
Date
work.
doctor. Date doctor. Tell me something pimpish.
Now, check it out. I don't speak for women because I'm not a woman, and I don't speak for high value men because by definition I'm not a high value man. But what I will say is I speak for the 40-year-old plus working, taking care of his own business. You know what I'm saying? Responsibilities, being a dad. I represent that niche of men, and for that niche of men, I have to be the bearer of bad news. You may have to settle for that. I mean, this is just what it is. The way things are now, the standard has gone lower. You know what I'm saying? So if you're looking for purity, chances are great you're not going to be able to find that as much. You're just not going to be able to really find that in most women. As far as when it comes to even OnlyFans stuff, like you see stuff similar to that on Instagram for the free. So you might have to lower your standards on that. And then for like strippers, we're gonna meet women in our age range from 35 to 40, something like that. Who knows what she was doing in her 20s? You know what I'm saying? That's like almost 2 decades ago. So are you really gonna let that hold you back from a woman? Like, so because it's a lot of I don't mean like most women like that. I'm saying the women that you're probably gonna like. You're probably gonna like the bigger breasts, the thicker, the cute face. Those women would probably wanted to show that off. You know what I'm saying? So you have to really be mindful of that. And as far as escorts, I tell all men, even if you don't use escorts, find the escort site in your city. Look at those women. Cross-reference those women that you see on that escort site with the women that you see on dating sites. There's some similar women. I'm telling you about that. And also, if I was you, I would go and I would text all those escorts. That way, if you in Publix or you at the mall, if you at Target or something, you bump into one and you get the number, you already got her in the text thread to know what time it is. You got to protect yourself out here. So again, I don't think at this age we got like 30 more summers, maybe 25. Man, we can't be pushing too much off the table right now. We don't have it like that. So yeah, she might have a little checkered past.
Chris, I think you put on a doctor's thing. You should have put on the clergy thing because you preaching tonight, bro.
I'm just saying, we 40 years old. We got 20 more summers in this thing, man. She probably got a pass. She probably did some OnlyFans. She probably did something, bro. I'm just saying.
Dr. TC. Oh, TC. You got someone in the audience say, could you date a salesman? In fact, what is your criteria right now? You know, all them Tyler Perry movies say y'all looking for just a good guy. It don't matter what he do.
I think this is kind of like we talked about in the other podcast. That conversation, a stripper, porn star, I'm with Zay on that one. I'm too shallow. First of all, I'm a Cancer. And Cancers can be very petty and wear their feelings on their sleeve. And the one time you make me feel, I feel a certain way in a certain situation, that's not gonna work. So that's why I was just being honest from the get go. But for me, I could date. Like I don't have a preference. Like people say, well, I want a white collar worker. I could do a blue collar worker. If you're a good person and you're gonna provide, I could do a blue collar work. Because the way I see that is, I can ask you for my insurance. That's how that go. I mean, it's not that serious. I don't have to have People say a 6-figure salary. I just need us to be able to put our salaries together and we live comfortably. Not to be struggling. I got to wonder the doggone lights gonna get cut off. Can I go swipe at doggone Kroger and is the card gonna go through? I don't need those type of struggles in life. But I don't need to necessarily, who doesn't want to be rich? So I'm not going to say that either. But I want us to be able to live comfortably where we can still do what we need to do things that we want to do, travel and everything else, and not worry about being on the struggle bus in the process.
First off,
one that
Florida,
was,
we don't have Kroger, so
as a person,
Well, in the Publix, Florida, thank you. Walmart, Piggly Wiggly, what's that about? Anyway, that's
You well
that's
traveled, I
Panhandle.
see.
you better than Walmart, girl.
That's Panhandle. Let me keep it,
Date doctor.
I'm just saying, as a person that had to deal with that coming up, there is no more feeling than you getting over that anxiety when that the food stamp card actually go through, and the elation that you feel. You don't have to get embarrassed in front of all these people and have to put all this grocery back, and your grandma actually did the paperwork she's supposed to do to get them food stamps, and she swiped that card, and bingo, you get all the stuff you want. So yeah, you might get don't have to deal with that, but boy, that was some kind of thrill when we was coming up, man. Trust me on that.
Oh my goodness. That's
He was nice. He said, put the food back. I'm just going to walk out in embarrassment. I already put the food, just going to walk out the door. Denied.
Hey,
Exit left.
you remember when it wasn't digital, it was paper. They used to give you the book,
Mm.
the 50s and
You
100s.
gotta punch that thing in.
Get the chat them bad boys out.
Yeah, I mean, we found a book in the alley and we trying to use it. And the store man was hating me. This ain't y'all book. Hey, it ain't your goddamn business, sir. You want them or not, sucker. All right, I'm gonna put the meat in the end. Wait, I'll put the main. I'll put the topic
right now.
I'll put the main topic in the end. Oh, that was bad. Listen, that was horrible. Since we got TC on the show, and I already kind of got some insight from Nate, I'm just trying to see the variety or the difference in different ladies. I'm gonna ask you something. So we asked. This goes to all of the different. Shut up, Chris. It's bad. Listen, how many times? This is gonna go to everybody. How many times or how many relationships have you considered proposing to the person? Mario kind of be exempt to this, but TC, how many times have you been in a relationship serious enough that you considered the proposal, or how many times have you been proposed to?
0.
Okay, that's a red flag, but we'll come back to that.
Yeah, leave I gotta be a red flag.
Yeah, cancel
Nobody
that.
proposed?
Ain't nobody
0.
gonna
You want me to be honest, or you want me to give you a publicity answer? I told you the truth. Now I'm getting ridiculed for the truth. God, dog, I can't win.
Oh, but listen, this is the kind of show we have. Listen, we give it to each other on the shows. Well, god damn it, it's just a bad night for me. And Super Mario Senior, you married, so yeah, you might be exempt from this. So I'm gonna go to Zeta Ladies, man.
No, so he can tell he might have proposed to somebody else before.
He definitely did.
He's
You don't have to worry. I did.
man.
I did. It's one and done.
Yeah.
And that quickly. It's a one and done. When I thought about it, and really thought about it, I did it. But it's this a good question though. So I'll let the other fellas who never went through with their proposal. I'm assuming. I haven't thought about it.
Zeta habitual bachelor. Have you ever
Absolutely not.
proposed to anybody? Considered proposing? Have you been proposed to?
No, I think Too Short ruined me as a kid. We listened to him, and he said he was a player for life, and where was his wife, and all that other stuff. And I actually think I believe that. So I've never even given that really a serious consideration. Matter of fact, I think me and Chris are guilty both, because every time someone does it, Chris actually dubbed it a funeral, if I'm not mistaken. Death of a player. He said death of a player, But up until recently, we've come to appreciate him, because everything that we were taught younger, we come to find out that was farce. Like, damn, it's actually a good thing. It's not a bad thing to do it. But coming up, we didn't want to be a sucker. At least I know I didn't. So I never gave it a thought. Just thought I'd be a player for life. Now I'm singing Joe. Hey, man.
I think one day Zay gonna make that decision to give it all.
Oh, I am. 100%. But like my boy said, it's gonna be a one and done. You know, if she tell me no, they ain't never got to worry about it again. I'm gonna be forever on the land, future. And if it happened, it's over with. Put me on my Hall of Fame jacket. I'm gone.
I want to remind you, one of your most favorite segments in TV history was when Wayne broke up. Wayne broke up that wedding and he married Whitley.
No.
That's one of your favorite TV segments.
No, that's yours.
No, it's not. It's definitely yours. Date Doctor.
Well, actually, I'm still working on trying to be with my first successful non-cheating relationship. So I got a long ways to go. I ain't never had one of them. So I'm trying to work my way.
I'm supporting you.
So let me ask you something. So Chris, you keep it 100 from season 1 to 4. And, you know, like I was talking to Nate Simone today about cheating. And even though she never caught the person, she labeled him a cheater. So it's amazing how that goes. But I'm going to ask TC, when a man cheats allegedly, why are y'all so hurt about it? What makes it such a horrible thing?
I don't know about the allegedly part. You could ask me why is it hurtful when they really cheat, then I can answer that question.
Black men don't cheat.
Yes, they do. I think it's because initially I think women have this perception of the person that they're dating, and they don't want to believe in their eyes that this person would step out on them with someone else, and they don't want to believe in their eyes that they're not enough for that person. That makes them step out. They start to wonder, what is it that I'm not offering that they're getting from this other person? Like, it's a lot of things going on in their head at that moment in time. And I think it just depends on the person and how far they're in a relationship, and if they like this person, if they love this person, if they're in love with this person. I think it just looks different.
Mario, give me some. What he's on, Dr. Date Doctor. Doctor. Why they so hurt?
Well, I've always said this. I think this is my opinion. This is controversial. I think women expect men to cheat. I think it's not a secret that men cheat and they desire other women. What I personally believe is that it's the deception of it. I believe it makes you look weak when you can't tell her the truth. Because if you can't stand up to her, you can't stand up for her. So I think that's more about that. She expected, I believe, this is my opinion, because I've been knowing this, I've been seeing this my whole life. I believe that women expect that. But what they don't expect is to be able to, the person that they trust the most, they love the most, sit there and tell them a bold-faced lie about it. It's the best you can do is to say, yes, I did that. I messed up. And go from there. Take your punishment, however that comes. But I've always believed that it is the deception of it. It's the looking her in the face, and the person that she's supposed to trust that's going to protect her knows that you will sit there and lie right in her face about it, just like a coward. So that's what I think.
International Ladies Man.
I don't know. I actually listen to the women when they say this, and it's 2 weeks now that we've had, women presence on the television, and they both said the same thing. It's because they get attracted to who they think that the man is or who they want him to be, and they kind of overlook the other things. So when it happens, they're taken out because they have the expectations. I think we had a conversation about that before. Them expectations will do it to you every time, and it's the expectations from the conversations that we receive from the women that take them out. And that's why they be so hurt, because they thought that they saw the white picket fence and the house and the dog and the kids, but that was the representative. So I don't know. What say you, Hart?
Doggone representative, I tell you.
Don't do it. Harder, what's your thoughts?
I think most of the time they just be embarrassed. It's just total embarrassment. At the end of the day, they know. Like right now, if you ask most women, if you poll them in a blind study, they'll say they think most men cheat. If you ask them how many times they think, out of 10, how many men they think cheat, they're going to say somewhere around 7. So if all the questions you go down and ask women about cheating, they're going to be very high on the mark. So most of them think most men cheat. So it just behooves me to think all these brilliant, smart, amazing women, intuition having women just be so stricken when they find out a man is cheating. after most of the time so small of a time. Because sometimes it's not like the 10 years. I've been with him 10 years. He'd be like, bro, you just been with him a year and a half or 2 years. And you just devastated that he cheated on you. Like, so you thought he just said, forget all the women he knew in his life after 2 years, and then just miraculously you just so sunshine. That's why I say it's the ego and embarrassment. I think that's what the same thing with me. Because when you look at it statistically, you just know most people cheat. That's just, I'm saying, in life. Just people cheat on everything, on tests, on everything, on call. If they could cheat a sale, they're gonna cheat. That's what people do. They try to get over, because that's what it is, a form of getting over or getting what they want at any cost. So for people just to be hurt, they just mad because somebody found out. Because most people know people cheating, or they know they were dating a cheater when they first got with them.
Am I right on this? Somebody said this earlier. I don't know if it was Chris or you that said if a man in a relationship with a woman and she cheat, most times the man stay is when somebody find out, right? Allegedly, right? So Mike said that. When I'm talking to somebody today, I was saying, like, in a 10-year relationship, something happened, don't know why, the man allegedly cheats. A woman will leave the man knowing she's totally in love with him. Like, this is my guy, he cheated, but I'm done. He cheated one time, like, but which was a mistake. And I always analyze, like, his heart's still with you. Like, if that man, in my opinion, take him back or whatever, y'all get through that, you're gonna see a different version of that man. I think you're gonna see a better version of that man. And hey, I made a mistake, and then he calculate what he lost. Women would do it knowing she's still in love with this man, go on, knowing you're still tied to that person. And somebody told me I was wrong for having that ideology, but I'm saying, yeah, he cheated, he made a mistake, and you're totally done, and you move on, but you really don't move on. You can't have another successful relationship because you still, men cheat. No, the man made a mistake, and if you sat there and try to work through it, who's to say what you might have had? But who am I? I mean, see how your reaction is, TC?
Wait, I'm just listening. I haven't said a word. Just listening. I can't have facial expressions. Golly.
But that's most women reaction when I say that. I'm like, well, just give it a little.
I actually don't agree with that. I actually, I mean, from my personal experiences, I've dated guys that cheated, and I didn't walk away. Like, if they cheated that first time, that wasn't a walk away for me. That was a stay and try to work it out. But what happens is, a lot of times when you don't walk away, when you signify walk away, then that's when guys know it's serious. And I've learned this the hard way. But once you stay after that first time of cheating, to a man, it signals, oh, I can get away with this because she ain't going nowhere. I got her. She in love with me. She ain't going nowhere. I can do some more stuff. And then that's when they make it a pattern. And that's the difference. That one time versus a pattern. Because a lot of times they'll say they're going to change, but they don't because they've gotten away with it. So that's why I don't agree with what you're saying.
Okay. Well, I'm not the expert on the dialogue. Usually that's when Chris or Mario gives some insight. I just throw the ball at the hoop.
Oh, no, I just feel, let me give some insight. I think it's the difference between a cheater and somebody who cheated. So it's some people who are just cheaters. That's what they do. I'm saying they don't value commitment or monogamy. Those are cheaters. And at one point in my life, I had to, like Chris said, I think that most men don't value that step in learning how to be monogamous or learning how not to cheat. Because as a younger person, we're taught to attain women as many as we can, and it don't matter. There's so many out here, we just all playing around. And I think what happens from then, you get a little light bulb to say, I'm older now, I want a commitment. But then you don't understand that little time period to say, hold up, bro, I got to learn how to be committed. I have never been committed. I have never took a woman totally serious. I have never been able to walk out or be able to get another woman and denied myself that. And I think that that's not talked about, but that's a big jump for most men. I think a lot of women just feel like, if you love me, you should just be able to do that. When it's not that easy sometimes. It's a learned behavior. Like, being committed is a learned behavior. It takes discipline for a man. So you can't just one morning wake up and because I love you so much, just I don't cheat no more. That's not reality. But that's what the expectation is. And that's why those expectations get set wrong and they get crushed over and over and over because the man have never learned how to not cheat. And I think that's why Chris brought that up. I think that's very pivotal in that step But people don't learn it. They just go from I'm a cheater to I'm in a relationship.
All right.
I like that, Harden.
Yeah.
I like that. I echo that with you because Chris was saying that. I think that's what I was saying about us being raised a certain way, and it's hard, but nobody don't talk about that stuff because it's hard to do because you feel you know how to do this really, really well, but you're trying to go forward and you get stuck in the middle, like, man, you know, almost, and you go back and almost, and you go back. But like you said, nobody, and I think the biggest part that you said about it is nobody talks about commitment. And if this is what you're going to do, this is what you're going to do, making those hard decisions and steps that as men, when we grow older, got to do. Everybody, I think that's why Baby Boy is such a good movie. It talks about that, but a lot of people just watch it because of Tyrese and Snoop Dogg in it. But we as black men got to address that little situation right there, man, because that's a huge one. And for the young men that's coming up, they got to know that it's all right, because if not, they're going to repeat a cycle. I think Tupac had a rap about that too, but hey, what do I know? What say you?
Okay. Good stuff.
Well, I don't get to.
Go ahead, Dave Doctor.
I honestly, I don't ever fear this. Like I never feared this. I live a whole different reality. Like most, and that's one thing I give kudos to black women too. But I probably shouldn't say that because it's like a backhanded compliment. They stay with you. Like I don't get that reality where women doesn't stay. Like in my mind, I don't believe that one cheat is going to make that lady leave. I'm not even. That's not even a fear of mine. So, and I know that may be wrong, but I don't even fear that. Now, I don't expect her to be no dummy, but at the same time, like nothing in me make me believe that she's going to leave me on the first one. And that's again, maybe it's a backhanded compliment to our sisters, but they in my reality, they stay with you.
Interesting. So let me ask you something while I'm talking to Date Doctor. Breakups, are they hard on men or are they hard on women?
I think it's hard to gauge harder, but I would go with I had to go with men because that's the way I experienced it. I believe that men love very few times and very few women, so it's not transferable. They got a theory about it. They say that it's men because in all throughout time, men had to go to war, and when other tribes or other lands captured other lands, they would kill the men. So those women, women had a choice. They would either have to go to the man that they had to relove somebody else, one of the winners, or they just die without a man. So the people that didn't want, the women that didn't want a man, they died off. Then the women that was able to transfer that love to someone else a little easier, they had children. So I think that's now inside of women, that it's a lot easier even off of survival. You may leave, but with all the options that she has, it's easier for her to move on because she feels like she has to. But for men, it's hard for them to move on because in their mind, they feel like it's not that I ain't had a lot of women. I just ain't had a lot of women like her. So that's how I look at it.
TC.
I agree with him. I think that men honestly have maybe 2, 3, 4, maybe women that they truly love and like. And if it doesn't work out with them, then it's just oh well. Versus women are more susceptible to have. They'll try love over and over again, even though they're brokenhearted, down and out, depressed, drinking, doing everything else to try to cover it up, having these sessions with their friends, crying and not everywhere about why he don't want to be. They'll some type of way find a way to get over that and find somebody else to be with or to love. And I don't know. I think it's harder to say. I think it's too hard to say who has it worse. Because I think for a man, it's a pride thing. So what they're not going to do is let their boys see them down. They're not going to be out in public looking like they're heartbreak. They got to find a way to bounce back and be this manly figure, even if they are hurting. Whereas for a female, it's more acceptable for us to just show our hurt and our emotions and our pain as we try to battle through this thing.
International ladies, man, you're immune to breakups. You don't hurt.
No, I think we just were taught to deal with breakups differently. I'm a guy that always expect the best, but I hope for the best and expect the worst. So when it happened, I'd be like, and like you didn't know it could be possible to happen. But I'm with you, Chris. I think men, when I say this, because we see women publicly display their hurt more, so it tends to kind of want to run with the narrative that they hurt worse. But men hurt for a long time because you get a chance to get around some of the old men around them chess tables and under them trees, and they might talk to you about the best girl they ever had that they messed it up with, and they still ain't forgot about her. You understand what I'm saying? Where, like as you say, a woman moves on, finds someone else that she can share her love with or give to that is receptive of it, and she done forgot about Joe Blow. Like, she may mention them every now and again, but Edgar that's here taking care of things. Guys live with that. We're not really taught how to express it. Like you said, it is an ego thing. We're not going to run around and just tell everybody that we hurt, whereas a woman may be looking for that attention. So that, we always say it on here anyway, they have support groups of sorts where they'll nurse them back to health. Guys don't get that. They get talked about, they get ridiculed, you feel me? They get outcast or so, because he's soft, he's weak, he's less than, so I can't be hanging around him. But that ain't what we do over here. So I think that hurt a little bit more.
Well,
But who am I again?
Some women have a network where they make sure they spread the word. Girl, Tootie ain't shit. Supposed to break up over. And let me make sure he does not prosper in this dating world. What happened with y'all, girl? She might even tell everybody got a little thing. Like, they gonna really, the spiteful ones gonna make sure your credit is bad out of these dating streets. Super Mario Senior, you the wise one.
Well, I don't know if people are going to agree on this one, but I think most men is going to be men for sure. But I think it's because a woman is attached to who he is and his perception in life, right? So I think that when a man loses a woman, then it's always going to be like she represented him for a time period. So it's a lingering effect of her. Like, if she go out and be a hoe, they're gonna be like, oh, that's Chris, oh, that's Zaya, that's Mario, that's Tootie, oh, ex-old lady. Like, so like she's a long-lasting representation of him. If she go get with a man who's of less caliber, they're gonna be like, you see her with that bum? It's gonna be a remembrance of in a lag of him getting thrown in her face. Like some of the points y'all brought into though, it's the kind of the opposite with a woman. It's looked at as like, they pick at him. Like if you go downgrade, they can be like, he a loser. Look, he lost, girl. She ain't shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like a sisters big him up. As a man, it tears you down. That's why your stock kind of drops by the women, who they go with. So I think that's the pride thing that comes in. So it's like you don't even have time to heal, because everything that woman does when she leaves you still affects you until it's a time period. Mm-hmm. And I don't think women have that same, hit to the ego. So it's not, it's easy for them to walk away, because as we always know, society gonna say they're the victim. And if a man and a woman leave amicably at the same time and decide to leave, and they never tell nobody what happened, everybody gonna say the man did something. Every time. So it's almost like, you know what I'm saying? So it's almost like a man every time you fighting for everything. You don't even have time to grieve, because people are gonna assume automatically, without you throwing her under the bus, it's your fault she left. So that's a lot of key factors, but I think a man is hurt worse.
All right, listen. It's interesting because we lost TC for a minute, but that gives me room to go to the main topic that we have for later, for next time. But a quick question, dog, because I seen this on Black Twitter, right? And somebody actually took one of our sound bites. But we always talk about PNCs. They forgot it's posting up clarity, right? You date somebody, you chasing it, and you get it, and all of a sudden you just get this poof. You realize at that moment, like, I don't even really like this chick. You know what I mean? Or it's trash. How long do you go? Do you meet the chick, Chris, and you smash, and then you had this moment where you like, I ain't really feeling chick. So do you make that game time decision there, or do you keep them for, you just keep them on the roster, like give her one or two more opportunities before I say, nah, she can't be on my roster. So it's a dating thing, post nut clarity. Do you make a judgment on the first date, or do you, be not so quick to release them?
Well, before we get into that, we got to understand what post-nut clarity is. Post-nut clarity is the equivalent of female intuition, right? But it only activates after the first time you smash.
Mm.
Now, a lot of people still don't understand that. So I try to make a metaphor for PNC being like the check engine light, right? The check engine light comes on when something's wrong. Now, what's wrong is you out of alignment. And what's alignment for a man? Alignment is when your stick, your heart, and your head is all in alignment. That's when you know everything is good. So what happens is PNC, the check engine light comes on. Now you know something's wrong, and now you got to diagnose it, right? So let's say your head and your stick is connected, but it's not. But your heart is not connected. Those type of situations, you could do it, but there's only so far you can go with that woman. Because your mind is in it, your stick is in it, but your heart ain't there. So no matter what she does, no matter what you do, what's the situation, y'all gonna be living together, have a baby, you're still not gonna stay there, right? Or it could be that your heart and your stick is there, is connected, and your brain ain't. Now that's when you get the category of sucker for love. He does everything because his heart is in it, his stick is connected, but he's not using his head. That's where you get your simps at. That's where you get your suckers at. But that's also where you get your abusers at a lot when the heart and the stick is connected. But what I think is the worst one is when what's the last one? It's when the head and the heart is connected, but the stick ain't there. That's the one that'll keep you. That's the one that men in long-term relationships and marriages suffer from the most. They love the woman. They believe that that's the woman that she should be with, but sexually she just doesn't do enough for him or please him in that kind of way. So he wanders off because he's not in alignment. His head and his heart is there, but his stick ain't. So again, what we got to know about post-nut clarity is that's just a check engine light. And we all know about check engine light. You can continue to drive, but the problem is still there. Once you diagnose the problem, you can change it. But the problem is still there, and you figure it out from the first time. It's going to give you some kind of intuition to know whether you can stay or not. Now, you may have to do it again and again and again and again just to make sure. I suggest that. But otherwise, that's how I define post-nut clarity.
Zay, you're the other habitual single bachelor.
Listen, man, Date Dalton, let me give you a round of applause because that was a great dissertation. I like what you did with that. Yeah, you did that. I'm gonna simply answer the question though. That post-nut clarity, it does a lot of things because for a lot of us, I think Hardy alluded to this before in previous episodes, it ain't no love involved, it's lust. You just went into that person at that point in time. Like you said, once Pop Goes the Dragon happens, yeah, you see something totally different. And a lot of times it is cut and bait. Sometimes, like Chris say, you say, you know what? Maybe it was a bouffale the first time. That's the word we're going to use. A bouffale the first time. Let me go back over here because I can't believe. And you may go over there a couple of times until you understand that this too ain't it. And you get from out of there. So that one's going to depend on that night, maybe how much you had to drink and what you really wanted to accomplish. Because if you were just looking to get off for that night, it's definitely cut and bait. And if you may have thought that it was something, but the box ain't hitting right, like my brother alluded to, you still out of there. So that post-nut clarity is a must. Move with intention, guys. That's the only thing I can tell you. Unless you're out for the score, then you know what it is. Cut and bait. I don't know. What say you, Horace?
Who?
You. I like to hear. Yeah, I like to hear what you say because you know you are a guy of romance. So if you go over there and it ain't hitting right, are you gonna have a conversation with her or are you gonna ghost her? What you gonna do?
That's a good question. It depends on the vested interest, right? Because once you dating over 40, anything can happen. She could have been stressed out. Sometimes
You making
listen,
excuses for it.
because
She's not
sometimes
gonna make one for you. That's why I'm saying that. You go over
I
there
know.
one time and it ain't hitting, you are in the group chat, buddy, and you are forever
Amen.
marked. So,
Listen,
and
when
I already
all else
spoke about that
fails,
last time. Cause we as men don't spray y'all if that thing wasn't hitting right the first time. We say, you know what? Maybe it was me. Maybe I was off. We protect y'all, which we also don't get credit for, but whatever. That's another episode too. I'm curious
I'll
to
be
know.
there for that episode. I want to hear that conversation.
listen, when all else fails, you pull a Pac-Man, all right, and they're gonna give you one more. They're gonna give you one more opportunity. I don't know, man. I just say that sometimes it just be weird. You know what I mean? You nervous, she nervous. I don't know. So you do give. I would say give it one more time because women sell us wolf tickets too. Because of what she said and who she is and how she feel, she makes your expectations be a little up there. And then when you find out she done sold you a goddamn Vanilla Ice ticket, you like, boy, I'm mad now. Like, oh, not only is it not popping, it's just not. It don't even have the ingredients to be popping. So
Hot dog in the hallway.
I'm gonna give a 2. I'm gonna give a 2 because they don't spare us. Super Mario Senior. Before I go to Dr. TC, because I don't know if they have PNC, but give me your thoughts.
I think most of the time that come from your mind having done worked up a whole story in your head of what you expecting it to be, your expectations, right? Because so a lot of times in life we see women and we attach their sexiness with their ability to perform in the bed, and sometimes those two things don't align, right? You know what I'm saying? You can find some women who are super attractive, but they just don't know their way around the bed, and I think that's the disappointment that comes from PNC. I think it's clear because then you go back to reality and start looking at, did I just like the way she looked? Like, what else made me think that this is gonna be good? Then you start breaking stuff down. A conversation at dinner that you wasn't listening to, that was bad. Then you start thinking about she didn't really have no goals. Like, where did she work at? It didn't work at well. Like, you start thinking about all the stuff that you was ignoring earlier because you were just trying to get to that ending of this sexy person doing all this nasty stuff that you see. Because most men watch porn in their head, and her body probably is going to remind you of something that's seen. So you thinking about that. But once you get there and it's not that, then you start thinking about all the other stuff she don't have that she already showed that she don't have. And I think that's clear because at that point, a man got to make a real decision. Like, do I try it again? And I'm saying try it again with feelings. Like, do I take her out again and listen to see if there's anything in common? Or do I just say, yeah, I'm going to beat a couple more times and then, yeah, that's going to be it for this because this ain't going nowhere. But that's a pivotal point in a lot of relationships. A lot. That's why you see a lot of fine, just a hint, of fine women who in their head think they doing it in the bedroom, because most men don't tell you. A lot of that's the difference. A man, I'm gonna let Horace go. A woman will almost kind of tell you like, yeah, this ain't really, or maybe if you go to the left, or maybe see a dude just gonna be like, bro, he gonna go tell his homeboy that wasn't it, and then he just gonna go find somebody else. So you got a lot of delusional women out here who really think they in the bedroom doing they super freak OnlyFans moves, and it's definitely WWE moves because it's horrible. There's a lot of women who are overconfident, and they shouldn't be. It's some fine women who are trash in the bedroom, and it's because most men tell you, bro, stop, just stop. That's too much. Take it easy. And I think that's a disservice. So that's what I think.
We don't tell our business, but one day I got it. Listen, body was snatched, petite. I said, boy, this is gonna be amazing in my mind. And at some point we were missionary, and I looked at her eyes, and and her eyes was hoping that for the best. But at that point, I knew she knew that it was trash, and she was just hoping that I was gonna find it to be not trash. But at that moment, there was nothing. There was not one move. There was not enough inches. There was nothing I could have did to make this experience worth saying. It was traumatic. It's still traumatic to this day. It was the only time that I called my brother over. I said, Zay, I need to tell you about something. I felt like I got robbed of some dick. Like I wish take my time.
I believe soggy was the word that you used, if I remember correctly.
Oh my God. I want to give her a scissor kick right now because she let me believe that this was going to be the Heisman of box. And she knew it. She knew it. And when I looked at her eyes, she knew it was trash. And I felt like I wanted my money back for everything. Like, I got robbed. They going to have to counsel me about that one because it's traumatic. And for a while, I thought I'm going to run into another bad box out here. They said
he been buying box for a while. Y'all heard him. He want his money back. Before the $40, it was show love for the dub. Y'all don't know nothing about that. You got to be from Revere.
Boys, you do not miss a point to stick me in the back with a knife, man. Y'all wonder why I be on their hands. That is just, boy.
I'm just saying, man. You said it.
Pause. Listen, TC. Y'all got PNC? Because y'all damn sure don't got good women's intuition. Y'all be picking some bums.
If I just want to be really candid, women, we do have those. You'll have some time when you just see somebody, and I don't know if this is for men, but women in their mind will see somebody and be like really fine and sexy and just watch a dude, and just in conversation, we just sitting there talking like, you know what? He could get it. I ain't gonna even lie. He could get it. That's what women do. However, I think I agree with everybody on here. I think a lot of times people do overcompensate. What I've learned is the dudes that don't talk about it usually be the ones that's gonna come through. The ones that's doing all of that talking, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and you gonna do this, nothing happens. And I think too, I think there are cases when if you're really attracted to somebody and they're really attracted to you, I agree. I think Horace said this, is that sometimes the excitement of the moment just knocks off everything for both. Because y'all are both trying to impress, but you're trying to, be in the moment, but you're trying not to do too much, and you're trying to just find that balance. And so I think in those cases, you do need another round in a less stressful environment to see what this is actually going to be. But on the other hand, I know plenty of guy friends, and I have one guy friend, and he said all the time about this girl he talked to, was like, man, it's slaw, TC, it's slaw. And I'm like, what you mean it's slaw? Bruh, it's slaw. I can't explain it. It don't excite me. She don't do nothing for me. She just lay there. If she did lay there, it's just slaw. And I be like, so that's my word now. And people say stuff, I be like, like that is my word because of that. Just being perfectly honest. But she's one of those people that will snatch all of that, just like Mario said, but hot garbage. So
you know what's funny? Mario left off one very important fact, and he was talking about, why things don't happen the way they do. Dude heard about you. That was the person that he heard about the things that self-proclaimed bad chick got. I do this to her, and we like challenges. We're ego driven. You know what I'm saying? You just saw the Super Bowl last night. We were revved up, weren't we? So we out trying to catch that marlin. We sport fishing, and then we get over there and it ain't doing what it's supposed to be doing. Right. I'm with Horace. I felt like she knew it all the time. Matter of fact, do I look like the kind of guy that involves himself in this kind of stuff? How dare you think that I'm gonna call you back? I'm never gonna call you back. I'm gonna be nice though. Say, hey,
I just have one question. What was the look in her eye that she knew that it wasn't it? Like, I just need to see those eyes.
I'm not me or any other person that was sport fishing wasn't the first person that couldn't bait you. Like at that time, you knew by the third person that you had this encounter with and they ain't called you back, you knew something went right. You should ask your girls what you do, you know what I'm saying, or look up some of them sites like some women be doing, and investigate or research what you're proclaiming before you put that product out there. Frank Lucas wouldn't do it. Why were you doing it? Stand behind your thing. Can't be just talking a good game and then wonder why things happen to you. You're not practicing. But I don't know. I just heard the story.
They're not practicing.
Yeah. They ain't doing right. But they out here proclaiming from the mountaintop too. They bad. And they got.
But let me ask you this question: if they're proclaiming it somewhere, somebody told them something. I don't think they can make that off the top of their head.
Mario just told you that. He said they're lying.
Guys, but what if that one dude who ain't? What if the one dude that said that like pumped him up had all he had before them was even worse than her? See what I'm saying?
Old man told me, said he ain't fucking on nothing. That's what the old man told me, but
that's real though.
I'm just saying,
because you only as good as your sex partners have been. Because that's your measuring stick. Like right now, people always be like, I ain't like when you've been out here in this world and there's women who've been like, you say a dude been dating porn stars, have been doing that and all that kind of stuff. See the guys who be like, I don't like freaks and I don't like stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, okay, fellas, I feel you. But once you know been to the mountaintop, the air feel a little better up there. So you know what you're talking about. Because there's a lot of people who be like, nah, I want if you only dated virgins and nuns, then I'm pretty sure that when you meet somebody else who's been around the block, you're gonna be a pathetic guy. I don't care, I'm just being real. So we can talk that beat your chest shit, but if you it's a lot of dudes. One thing I say this: there's so many people be out here talking about their experience in life, and it's really not as vast as women think. The second thing is I want to totally disagree with you on the part of TC. I'm about the part of you just said about God damn, you just said that they was talking. I was trying to say I don't agree with that about I'll come back to it. I can't think of it right now, but I just did. That was a good point you had made, but I was just saying a lot of women say that, and I don't agree with it. But I'll think about it in a minute. Go ahead, carry on.
Man, listen. We listen. Sometimes them stories just come back around. One thing about them street talks, where you hear a story here, and months later you hear another story, you be like, somewhere in between, the story just don't add up. You know what I mean? So it get interesting. I remember having a person where I was having a rough time, and then a dude, somebody we knew had a completely different story, and we all out there like, yeah, okay, like, somebody.
I know what I was going to say.
Another man's treasure.
You said the guys that I don't know this to be true, but I just think that logic is kind of like bizarre to me. You can elaborate on it a little bit more for me. You said the guys that talk a lot seem to be the ones that don't have a lot. Well, most people who selling stuff, like the best salesman, I never seen the best salesman in the world not be able to sell nothing. Like I don't see Puff Daddy talk about music all the time, probably because he got 12 plaques and he's $1 billion music exec. LeBron could talk about basketball all day. He does all day because he's one of the best basketball players. Most of the analysts that you're watching on TV are talking about football because they're one of the best at football players. So sometimes to say the people who talking a lot, now I will say this, most of the time the people who talking a lot, that's all they have to offer. Now I would give you that, but I wouldn't say the dude who beating his chest don't have a reason to beat his chest. He might be beating his chest because that's his claim to fame, is that putting it down. Because a lot of women say that, the dude who always talking. Maybe that's not true. Maybe he is knocking a bit through the wall, but that's all he can do. But it's a lot of dudes, see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you do have a lot of dudes that talk a lot of shit, for lack of better words, about all they gonna do, and then when they get there, they don't do. They last year, mini man, they whatever the case may be. I got all this, but you really ain't got all this equipment. Like I'm talking about those dudes. That's what I'm talking about. They're overcompensating because what they're not going to tell you is what they can't do, because that makes them unattractive, and they know that eliminates their chance of even having this opportunity with you. So they're going to tell you what they think you want to hear. But then when you get in the room, now it's time to show and prove. And now, and like Zay said, I'm not going to, even if it's bad, I'm not going to say that to you. I'm not going to say that to you. I'm just going to pull a Zay and not talk to you anymore. That's what I'm going to do. Now, if I really like you, I might say too, I might give you a second chance. But if you don't come through and prove on the second time, nah.
There's a poet, it's a red poet from Toronto said one thing. I'm gonna let Chris go. One time is fine with me.
Listen, I know one thing about it. Sometimes you do have to say yourself, listen, I think I'm a decent guy, but I'm way out of Serena Williams' league. I tell Serena I can ride a monkey if I get a piece of that thing. So sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And second of all, a lot of times y'all women lie to y'all. What that comedian said, he said, my thing is only big to women that like me. And that is the honest truth. Y'all know it ain't, but you so in love, that little Vienna look like a pickle until you mad with him and y'all done broke up. Nah, he got the littlest thing in the world, and you don't know why you ever mess with him. Facts.
Yeah. No, I don't agree with that. I think I don't. First of all, if we're broken up, even if I'm mad at you, even if you did the worst things to me, why I am not out talking about what you got or what you're working with, which can't work. To me, that's childish and immature. That's how I see that. A grown woman ain't got time to sit here and talk about another man's penis that I ain't even with. That somebody else is welcome to have. Now, maybe somebody else is doing that. I'm just saying, for me personally, I'm not doing that, because what that does is show that you really hurt. You really stuck on this dude. You really miss this dude, but you're trying to portray yourself like you all bad and you got this and you don't need him. So, I mean, which side of the fence you gonna be
cancer.
on?
Facts.
Come through cancer.
Like they doctor.
Well, I don't know, man. I've had situations where it's been different, man. Like I like to think that I'm, you know, pretty well experienced in that department, but I've had situations where I just completely failed a woman, like just completely and utterly through.
Appreciate it, but that's real talk. That's honesty. I mean,
she was tall. She was, for some reason, I had some trouble with tall ones. I had trouble, and I did everything I possibly could do, and not one sound, not one moan.
Oh yeah. I heard about those too.
And I have a history of jumping off the dresser, but
you gotta excuse yourself.
I did no damage. I had no reaction, no nothing, and she got straight up and walked straight out the door. You talk about two disappointed ass people, her and I.
You took pride in your work though, so that's a real conversation, dog.
Hey. He can't unhit it.
Listen.
He can't unhit it. Don't worry about it.
The person I think gave me the best experience of my life, listen, I failed her miserably. And it's just something about the magic in that theme park. Because listen, yeah, it was great for me. I can't say that I left an imprint over there.
Selfish bastard.
Yeah, I was not prepared for the magic in that mountain. So I'll tell you, we all have an L on our record.
But isn't it when you try to redeem yourself?
I'm straight.
Hey.
No more of that. I don't want no more of that ghost box.
Sometimes I just want to say,
keep that shit.
Sometimes you know when you diving into a canyon, you ain't never gonna touch the bottom. There's no point of doing it again.
Like
I survived. I survived.
You know, that's like I ain't never seen nobody jump off the boat in the ocean and say, "Yeah, I'm gonna jump again and try to touch the bottom." Shit, you get halfway down and be like, "This is unthinkable." I'm out of here. And I'm not saying, "Hey, it is what it is." You know, it's some people in this world like me and them been around. There's some women who done been around, and they might have caught a good amount of those guys who starring in every porn star. So, or they go to the freaking store. They go to the freak store and they get the special order XXXX triple Mandingo like this every night. They ram it. It's not. Hey man, I feel you, my sister.
Nothing you can do.
Salute. The turkey leg, the Jackhammer 3000. You can't compete with that. You cannot compete with that. Listen, I think somebody, not us, but a podcast. I think you could have an award-winning show if every guy anonymously shared their best experience, and man, you'll probably be in tears listening to their stories of how they recounted the best box they ever had. Because listen, it's just an experience. I know I tell anybody, I should have had a kid at 18. My daddy, his dumb ass, I said, hey, how you put on a condom? Like any asshole could put on a rubber. I'm like, okay. And I went off and broke 3 rubbers in 30 seconds. So
Did you put one on?
Nick, bro, shot one.
You ain't put one on.
He skinned it.
No, I was too close. I'm there. Listen.
No, not so ever. Yeah. Did you ever learn how to put one on?
Yeah.
You're an asshole. Officially, you're an asshole.
Listen.
Per your dad.
An asshole can do it.
I come from an area where you had to work hard to get some. You had to go to the movies, a dinner date, meet the parents, sit on the couch. At that moment, I have come too far. Like, I will not be denied tonight. I can't sleep. I gotta get this thing off of me, sir. And yeah, I definitely should have had a baby that night because I slept the whole next day. But you know, the first time stories, I'm telling you, you can have a whole show about all of that, CC. And I had to go back and apologize to her years later, but she gave it to me again. That's another story. Hey, I am. Yeah, we're at 1:15. I'm not gonna do the PTSD unless and when I can save it for another time. You know, I think I stick to a certain script tonight with the love and the strippers. TC saying she not gonna date Jake Steve, even though he saved and he changed his life. So it is what it is, man. And Super Bowl.
He said he changed his life, but that prior life gonna come out somewhere. Okay, guaranteed.
What about In the Closet dude? I just seen a video where this dude actually was on the video with a woman saying that, y'all didn't see that video talking about he didn't change and all that. And she with him, and I'm thinking, girl, even I'm saying you a damn fool, but
no,
say what the Lord can do in somebody's life.
Nope. That's why I go to Atlanta to kick it. I will never go to Atlanta for anything else.
Whoa. There's way too many heterosexual black men there to get that.
Yeah, but it's way too hard to try to figure y'all out. And here's my thing. Yeah. As a female, our intuition is everything. So I don't need enough to know that you're swinging the other way. That's why it took about 5 minutes to know that you're a little fruity. You got a little sugar in the chain. You were dipping over here, but trying to be a straight man over here. No.
That means
you got some kickback.
You know that
just told us about this intuition.
Food, right?
I know what now?
I mean, you know the women be lying when they say they get food because all you got intuition.
It's fine. And let me get this. I mean, you have what I call metrosexual men. I think that's the right term. Where these are men that are straight men. They've been raised by nothing but women in their lives, so they may have those tendencies, but they straight. But that's the difference between somebody that's over here in the closet. And so the intuition is everything to know that. Just getting the vibe already. Somebody can walk the room, I'll be like, yep, you got it. Yeah.
So you know when he like pickles and peanut butter. All right.
You ain't waste my time.
All right.
Okay, I hear that you're not wasting your time. Like, what time do y'all think y'all got? Like, what time is this that y'all don't be act like y'all don't be wanting to waste? You sitting on your goddamn couch drinking wine. That is the epitome of wasting time.
No, I'm sitting and have a meaningful conversation with you all. So you telling me I'm wasting my time now?
What is that?
No, it's life changing.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I don't think she's wasting my time.
Gotcha.
She don't think it's the 4:15 minutes on the clock, Chris.
Is that?
All right. She don't think it's the 4:15 minutes on the clock.
That's fine. Boy, I don't go there with it. Thumbs up.
All right. Well, listen, I'm not gonna do PTSD. I'm gonna keep the theme that we had is Valentine's Day, and I know everybody got to go out there and get up early and hit the Dollar Tree.
$1.25.
$1.25 treat.
Start giving them free game.
Yeah, I sent out a Duffy's card. Girl, get them 10 wings all flats. Listen, she appreciated
on my account.
Listen, when you put that meat in your mouth, think of me. This is Valentine's Day. 10 wings flat with the blue cheese. Hey,
How you
close
love
the
that?
comment. Yeah, I'm telling you. Close the comments.
Hey, listen, I appreciate y'all. Y'all could have been doing anything else. Y'all were out here conversing with us. We had lovely Dr. TC come on. We appreciate your insight from a female point of view. I hope you guys liked it, share it. Like I always say, tag a friend. Do some support for us. The Black Super Friends, we're doing something positive. Thank you. Good night.
Super Mario Senior.
Hey, thank y'all for coming, man. Thank y'all for coming. No longer is it football season, so y'all gonna get a better show. We're gonna have more time to prepare, but we got basketball season on the way. But you know, there's so many damn games, so we'll be talking about that later on. So this is a good time. Most men get a lot of time back in their life right now. You know what I'm saying? So women, y'all have time enough to watch us. Like Dr. TC said, this is not a waste of time. We're gonna take that clip and spread it all around. This is not a waste of time to join us every Monday at 9:00 and get some game from for heterosexual men.
That you
Thank
ain't gotta guess about.
Jake Doctor.
Ain't no Metro, baby.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I agree with Mario. Football season is over, so I don't know what I'm gonna be watching on TV. I don't watch basketball until the finals or to the March Madness because it's ridiculous until that time. But anyway, yes, I enjoyed tonight. I always like candid conversations where people are not trying to be jaded but telling the truth and just open themselves up to be vulnerable, which I think is missing in this world. I've been fussing at Horace because he keeps saying he'll give me on, won't never give me no time, just be having shows, putting all these other people on there. And I'm just like, really, bro? Like, why can't I get on the show? Like, what is that about? Like, what is that about? And then Zay gives me his feedback on videos that be like a whole sermon on stuff. And I be like, Zay, you can say this in the podcast. But long story short,
I'm
I
shy.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're not shy. I appreciate it. I hope you all have a happy Valentine's Day, whatever those plans may entail. Hopefully, everybody's got somebody, a piece of somebody, a part of somebody, a temporary somebody for tomorrow, whatever that look like. Y'all got somebody. That's what I'm hoping for everybody.
First of all, that was cap. So GCD had offers, and then be talking about, oh, I'm busy. What time y'all show? Y'all know.
Y'all today he said be on the show. I had to message him and like, okay, where's the link? What time the show start? Hey, what we talking about? Why I gotta do that?
All of mine.
That's what this. Guess it. Nope.
All right. Listen.
Hey guys, Horace has met his match. She's rendered you speechless. What is going on?
Yeah.
No comeback.
She's one of my favorite thirst trappers too. So maybe
I'm not a thirst trapper. I'm posting my progress to be an inspiration to someone else. So how am I thirst trapping? Because I got on leggings. Anybody know me? I got lips, hips, and butt. If you ain't figured that out by now, you'll be okay. That ain't thirst trapping. I'll wait.
You ain't got hips. You got ass. Jake Doctor.
Same difference. How's that thirst trapping?
You need CDLs.
Well, you want me to be like a white woman? You want me to be like an iron board? Okay, I'll try that.
You need CDLs.
No, I don't. I'm good.
Because you're hauling ass. Jake Doctor.
Okay, first off, I want to say thank you to our guests for showing up tonight. We really, really appreciate you. Love the earrings, love the hairstyle. Don't like the sweater. But I will say I do also disagree with you about basketball, man. We didn't get to talk about it, but we had a lot of trades. KD went to the Phoenix Suns. Kyrie went over there to the Mavericks.
It's whining crazy too. Okay.
It is going to be a really, really good second half of the season, man. I'm fortunate we didn't get to talk about that tonight, but hopefully we'll talk about that again. So I disagree with you on that second half of basketball season being ridiculous. It is good, and when football is not on, this is when I start to watch the NFL. The NBA. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Another Monday in the books. We appreciate it. Season Quattro, like you ain't know.
All right. Well, listen, I wanted to talk about it, but then I said I was gauging the time. We did have a lot of trades. Shout out to Kyrie as a person. I don't think he's gonna win shit in Dallas. Just when I applauded the Lakers on their trade, KD go over to the Phoenix Suns. So they're gonna be firepower with no bench, at least, and in case what's the point guard go get hurt like usual. The East gonna be wide open for Milwaukee and Boston. So basketball gonna be kind of off the scale as well. So I don't really have nothing to look forward to on TV. So I don't know what we're gonna do. I watched Black Panther this
Snowfall.
week, and I gotta admit, I gotta agree with Dr. Umar. Black Panther. What the hell I want to see underwater Mexicans beating on black people on Black History Month? Nah, I'm with that right there. So, hey man, we're gonna have some Black History facts every show that's remaining in this month. So I dare the guys to come up with a Black History fact to share with all the people around the world. So thank you for joining us, and the crew will go backstage. Peace.